My name is David Dermody. This is my presentation for my professional and written communication online course at Colorado State. And for my topic, I wanted to talk about the feasibility of building a residential vegetable garden in order to cut down on monthly food expenses for a family or household of 3 individuals. And my background or expertise in this area is that I'm studying agricultural business at Colorado State as a major, as well as I've worked as a horticulturalist here in Colorado for the past 7 years. So firstly, I wanted to start the topic of saving money by utilizing an initial investment and some labor hours. This investment would total around $500 on necessary supplies. This would be soil, potting soil, seeds, and fencing, fertilizers, and everything that would entail this project. Allocating around 20 or so hours of a startup cost, 10 hours if there's 2 people, 20 hours for one, would get us through the build out in terms of prepping the garden, planting all our seedlings, and then we would formulate a routine maintenance schedule of around 10 to 15 hours a week to sustain the garden. And depending on the right climates, we could potentially have a 2-part growing season to span around 6 or 7 months of the year. This ultimately would allow a 110% return on our investment, coming in just over $1,000 of savings of food over the course of said 6 months. And in order to attain this feasibility, we would definitely need to use a scientific or horticulturalist approach. We would treat our garden as a controlled experiment, form habitual watering and nutrient applications to attain proper plant health. We would use scouting and containment techniques, otherwise known as integrative pest management or an IPM program, and this would ultimately allow us to not use any pesticides and attain a cleaner, tastier, and higher yielding product to get us to our goal in the monetary side. And not only will this help drive costs down, but avoiding pesticides will allow for a better tasting and cleaner product at the end. And some ways to improve a potentially damaged soil or otherwise seemingly uninhabitable environment could be tilling the garden bed area, which is simply disrupting and loosening the ground in which the garden will be placed. This will allow for a higher retention of fertilizers and nutrients. You could also apply composted or manure organic materials, which would ultimately provide a better root zone and allow your plants to thrive better to get to those yields that we're describing to hit our monetary goals. And also utilizing organically derived materials such as fish meal, sea kelp, and plant molasses that are all cost efficient will also just allow a better supplementation and overall plant health for our plants to thrive while being, for the most part, cost efficient products. So in conclusion, as I've displayed in my PowerPoint, it's certainly feasible to save money on a monthly basis by implementing and sustaining a residential vegetable garden. Utilizing online resources from the Department of Agriculture as well as the EPA can be tools to better equip yourself and your gardening perspectives, as well as techniques. Utilizing local garden centers, either at big box locations such as the Home Depot or smaller community garden agencies can all help get us to those end goals and sharpen your gardening skills. And outside of that, finding a passion and love for your garden is imperative, as, like I've mentioned, it definitely does require man hours and hard work. And past that, just remembering to not take it too seriously and have a good time while you're ultimately growing clean vegetables and sustaining your family in a more economical standpoint from doing so. Thank you for your time.